body language.
Bond. James Bond.
You may like him, you may hate him. One thing is undeniable. He portrays the epitome of masculinity in cinema. The abandonment, emotional and psychological issues aside, he is someone many men are trying to emulate. But this isn't the smartest move to make if success is what you're after. Nonetheless, there is an abundance of things you can and will learn from analyzing his body language. Behaviors you should and behaviors you shouldn't adopt. I've selected a scene with a female portraying high status behavior, so the female channel members get some value out of it as well. We'll also cover 3 forms of gazes, one of which is the power gaze. Very useful stuff for your own social interactions. Friends, keep voting on the Instagram and on the YouTube polls because the last poll overwhelmingly wanted a breakdown of James Bond. So, here we have it.
Be careful what you wish for.
Now let's dive in.
Sir, how may I help you?
I'd like to cash this in, please.
One moment, sir.
James Bond has to wait for it to get back. What do most people do now? They get impatient, start fidgeting, keep staring at the wall until the person gets back. But here is what he does. He waits a second, then turns around to observe everything. His torso, where his vital organs are residing, is wide open. Even though he is at a place that is unknown for him, he seems to be at ease. I know you guys are wondering, Cheyenne, what about his hands in his pockets? Isn't that a no-go? Because hands in the pocket usually convey shyness and powerlessness, right? Are you expecting the contrary? No, because hands in the pocket usually does convey that, but what did I say in the very first body language video? Context, congruence, and clusters. Because it could also mean that he is cold, unlikely in this case, but there are multiple meanings behind a single behavior. Look at his elbows here. They are flared out. If James felt shy and powerless, he'd make himself small, taking less space like a submissive animal does so they are a physically smaller target and show no threat. Flaring out your elbows is incongruent to that. Also, look at his face. Non-reactive. No leakage of any kind of stress indicators. Here is something that goes against what most people have told you so far. Hands in the pocket can make you look extremely sexy. But don't do it in the manner James Bond is doing here. You might ask why not? It's James Bond, if he does this, it must be good. Listen, some people erroneously view keeping hands in a pocket as suspicious or deceptive. An evolutionary argument could be well made because who knows what you are hiding here. We've covered this when we covered the Roman handshake. Also, when you have your hands in your pocket, you come over as less trustworthy. So, how would I recommend putting hands in a pocket if you prefer to look a bit more nonchalant and get that sexy look? Here's what you do. Stick your thumbs out. And my personal go-to, even when I'm walking, is one hand in a pocket with the thumb protruding, whilst the other one swings like a pendulum. Very hypnotic, and for me at least, aesthetically pleasing. The question this begs is why does protruding the thumb make that much a difference? Thumb displays are positive signals. You know this inherently, like you're hitting that like button? Good job. Thumbs are used to display dominance, assertiveness, and sometimes even an aggressive attitude. It is also a sign of superiority. A man will use protruding thumbs around women to whom he is attracted to. The thumbs sticking out of the pockets point to the genital area. Usually this happens subconsciously, but for the female viewers, it is valuable information. Also, this behavior is often seen with high status individuals, because the thumb sticking out of the pocket is a high confidence display. Notice how he doesn't move his head to observe the movements here, but does this with his eyes. Alphas move relatively little. However, it would be a foolish strategy to be like this all the time. I'll get back to this later on. You can see her being wide open and the center of attention. The men are pointing towards her, and she is standing on a higher ground in the middle of the room. Plus, look at this territorial display. She takes claim of the stairway. Spread out, alphas, men and women, do this a lot. However, there is a difference in territorial displays between alpha males and alpha females, particularly when they are sitting. See, men tend to spread their legs apart and females, for obvious reasons, don't. I'll cover that more in depth in another video. If you'd like me to make that video soon, drop a comment mentioning that. Look how smooth she turns around. She could go clockwise. I mean, it would be the shortest distance. But she likes to make it a bit more dramatic, get a bit more attention, and turns anti-clockwise. Notice the leaning to the side. Unfortunately, you can't see the hips well here, but this serves to highlight her femininity. Locked eye contact. Observe this well. I'll play it again at half speed. James turns his body but keeps his eye focused. This is a trait observed in a lot of high status people. This mismatch isn't something natural. You have to master this. It adds subconsciously to your charisma. It's giving you attention, but at the same time disengaging. This can only be a product of your non-reactiveness. You're taking deliberate charge of your response to the multitude of stimuli around you.
Good fortune tonight, sir.
James looks at them, the suitcase, and then back at her. She moves very slow and elegantly. This is the body language of a high status lady.
Let's hope so.
James barely looks the man in the eyes. Again, high status attention is hard to come by. They're on their purpose, but guys, don't go around and not looking anyone in the eyes. Don't take this to the extreme. It is a subtle difference. Short smile here. You also will notice that high status individuals smile less than the people around them, and if they smile, they won't show their teeth often. The reason is because laughing is inherently a submission signal, but this doesn't mean they are less fun.
With compliments of the house.
Thank you.
The high status walk. I covered the 6 traits on a previous video, so see if you can spot all 6. Think Cheyenne. What does each letter stand for? Let's play it once more. Swaying smooth shoulders, head held high, activated scapula, youthful arm swing, affirmative action, and non-reactive. You briefly see him looking down here. I believe he's looking at the chips he just got handed. Straight off the get-go, you notice her palms facing outward. Females and feminine, even gay men tend to smoke like this in the majority of cases. We've covered this in the Tommy Shelby vs Alfie Solomon video. Heterosexual women tend to smoke more like this, while heterosexual men tend to smoke more like this. It's exposing versus hiding, feminine versus masculine. Besides this, you